Here are 8 things you need to do when you buy a new car. The first one is clean it. If you buy your car from a dealership, it's already probably pretty clean because each dealership has their own detailing department. But what I can tell you about those detailing departments is they're very in and out. It's about the money. So they don't spend nearly as much time on each car as a professional independent detailer would. And so I recommend you clean it. So you could either take that to a detailer or you could do it yourself, because you're sitting on someone else's seat that, how many farts did that you got to clean up their fart juice. There's a lot of nasty stuff. You got to clean their steering wheel and all the grime. You got to clean all the dirt. And so that's my first recommendation, is to clean it. Now, it may not be that bad, but I would definitely do it, okay? And so, but if you bought your car from an independent, a third-party person, then it might not be as clean. It doesn't even get that treatment that it does in the dealership in the first place. So I would definitely recommend cleaning your car when you first buy it. The second thing is to review your budget, because if you just bought a car, that's a very big purchase. And so if you financed it, like most people do, then you're going to need to make sure that $200 or $300 or whatever that you're spending every month that you had in your budget is now gone. And so you need to account for that, and you need to adjust your budget to deal with that. Or if you paid cash and you spent several $1,000s, you need to be aware and then set other financial goals. And so a lot of times when you buy a new car, you're ecstatic, you feel fuzzy inside and whatever. You need to make sure that you keep track of your money, otherwise you might find yourself in a financial trouble. Another thing you need to do is make sure you have the emergency safety equipment you need. What I mean by that is jumper cables. You probably want to keep a little bit of water in your trunk or your car, or a blanket, a flashlight. There's very basic safety kits that you can pick up at Walmart or an auto store. And it's good to have those, because people normally don't plan or intend for their cars to die, but it happens. It happens to everybody. So you always want to be prepared. That way you can get your car up and running and back up on the road. The next step is to know how to change a tire and to have a spare tire, because if you don't have a spare, these things go hand in hand. If you don't have a spare, changing a tire is not going to do much, because you won't have one to change, or at least one to put on. And if you have one and you don't know how to do it, you might be able to just call your insurance people and have them come and help you out, but it's really not that hard. And so if you learn how to change a tire yourself, you can do it in a few minutes and get up and running, and you don't have to wait for up to a few hours for someone to come and help you. So that's very important. 1, have a spare, and 2, know how to put it on. The next step is to have insurance and have your insurance cards in your glove box, because if you get pulled over and you don't have insurance, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So most dealerships, when you buy a car from them, they'll give you insurance for like the first 30 days or whatever. Don't quote me on that, because it's probably different in every spot. I like to get insurance on a new car as fast as I can, so like the next day or the same day if possible. And I always like to get a quote for that insurance before I buy the car, so I know what I'm committing to pay for ahead of time. And that way, after I buy the car, I can just call my agent and say, all right, let's finalize that agreement or finalize that insurance. And once you have your insurance, you need to keep your cards in your car. And what that is, it's a little piece of paper, which is your insurance identification card. And if you're ever in an accident or something, you don't have that, you're not going to really know what to do. And so it's very important you have that. It tells you the things you're entitled to, for example, like towing, or like I said earlier, with the tire changing or jumping your car if you need it. There's a few different things on there that it's always good to know. So it's important to have your insurance and your insurance cards in your vehicle. You also need to keep track of your maintenance. Do not forget about your oil changes. You wouldn't forget to put gas in your car, because you literally can't. It'll stop working. And the same thing will happen if you put oil in, but it's a little bit more dragged out. You'll cause damage to your car, your engine, and it's gonna die on you. So you need to make sure you do that. You're gonna want to make sure you keep your tires rotated, so you keep those nice and healthy. You want to get your tires in alignment and all of that. There's a whole bunch of car maintenance stuff that you need to do. You want to get your stuff flushed out every so often. Find a mechanic that you like and build that relationship with them, and then they can let you know the steps you can take to do that maintenance to help prolong the life of your car. Another thing you need to do that I like to do, if you live in a place where you have harsh winters, I like to keep a little container of ice melt in my trunk. Now, I do that just in case I get stuck. I've never had to use it, which is good, but it's always good to have. You can take a little bit of ice melt and just put it behind your tires to help it, or in front of it too, depending if you're going forward or backward. and that will help you gain traction to get you unstuck. It's a good thing to have. Like these other safety stuff that I mentioned before, it's good to be prepared, because one, time. You're going to save so much time if you're prepared. You can just fix your problem yourself and then get on your way and not have to wait for someone else and burden them and make their day more challenging too. The last thing you need to do when you buy a new car is put a phone charger in. We spend so much time in our cars and our phone batteries are constantly decreasing all the time, and so it's always good to have a phone charger in your car so that you can charge. The new cars that I've seen, they even have a little compartment where you just put your phone on it and it charges, which I think is really cool. I wish I had that, but I don't. I just have to use the old charging cord route. But put a phone charger in, and your phone will die less, and you'll thank yourself later for it. So these are my 8 tips on things to do when you buy a new car to help prepare. If you want to learn how you can personalize your car, you can check out that video that I made for that. Thanks for watching. If you have any other video suggestions, be sure to let me know in a comment and I'll be sure to check it out. Catch you next time.